I'm gonna be smart with it. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, I know we're late as usual. Oh shit, hold up.
Oh shit.
Oh, here's a fucking breaking news. So okay, so right now we're talking. I don't know. We need to discuss this beforehand because I literally just got the notice right now. So we had been told before that YouTube. So we use Hangouts on air to do this live thing, and we've been using that. It was supposed to stay until October, if I remember correctly, and October is supposed to go away. This little motherfucker thing. So whenever I go live on here, it gives me this little blue square on the side. It says this Hangout on air is live. This says Hangouts on air is going away August 1st. So tomorrow.
God damn.
So yeah.
What the fuck? I should have a little bit of whiskey in my drink. This means this is the motherfucking final hurrah. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I don't know. Who knows if it is or not, but they do have a little thing that says try youtube.com/webcam. So this may or may not be the last show for a couple of weeks, so at least I fucking figure out what the hell's going on. But totally caught off guard on this one. So I'm just letting y'all know that we might be on like in a week or two hiatus, depending on what the fuck happens here. But yeah, make sure if you're watching this and people you know aren't watching, fucking send them the link because who fucking knows? All right. We have the Keyboard Warriors presented by EarthTheWarriors.com. My name's Eddie Law. That's Jesse Rebecca. That's Red Kirby. Shooting the shit. And of course, if we're talking UFC 240 this last weekend, first of all, and I know Jesse didn't watch it. He had stuff going on. Fred and I watched it. One of us didn't pay, allegedly. So, Fred, what were your thoughts on this pay-per-view?
I mean, look, man, the general consensus is right. It was trash for the most part. And, that's what I was going to say. I didn't want to get into it before we went live because we always do that shit. But, usually when a card kind of looks a bit trashy on paper, it has the tendency to be really good. And then sometimes when a card looks really fucking good on paper, it has the tendency to be kind of trashy. Ironically, this is one of those cards where it was exactly what we thought it was, Jack. It looked like it was going to be a little dicey on paper, except for fucking the two, the co-main and the main event. And it was. Now, don't get me wrong. Before everybody starts getting their fucking little panties wet out there were a couple highlights from the card. There was a couple knockouts. There was a couple, couple good finishes and shit. But overall, the fucking card was trash. It was nowhere near pay-per-view worthy. But I mean, whatever. I feel like we say that about every other card these days too.
But how about this, Fred? Was it on the main card that people paid for? Were the finishes on the main card? Because I don't think there was, or was there one?
Well, yeah, Nico Price got knocked out, right? By Jeff fucking
Nawudu?
Nah, but Hudu,
Jeff Neal, my bad.
Jeff Neal, yeah. Hudu was on the prelims. I think the Jeff Neal, whatever the fuck. I think that fight was on the main card. It was a finish. Yep. I can't really remember. What the fuck do I know? I smoked too much. I know that generally speaking, the card was a little. There was a couple finishes. I think there might have been one finish on the main card, if I'm not mistaken, other than the co-main and the main.
So if you paid for this card, which I'm sure you did.
No, I did. I mean, I did. I look. I ain't got. I don't lie to nobody, Jack. I tried to stream it. You understand me? I tried. I couldn't. Brendan fucking Schwab ruined it for the most of it.
For all of us.
Yeah, like I had to break down and buy the cocksucker. So I bought it.
How much do you think they're paying Brendan each time he gives them a stream? Oh, hey guys, look at this stream. You guys should take it down. Yeah.
And they ain't paying that motherfucking big dummy nothing. He's just so stupid. He didn't know he was fucking the whole internet when he opened his big yeah. I'll get mine on Reddit. It's easy as pie. Shut up, man. 3 million people watch you, dummy.
Yeah, that guy's such a dick. He deserves to get
one thing for us to say that shit.
Yeah.
Anyway, the whole point is, do you feel you got your money's worth as a fan of MMA? Do you think that it was appropriate for you to pay that much money for what you got?
Hell
I'll tell
no.
you something, Jack. You know what I can get for $60 in Dayton?
Plenty.
You know what a Cleveland steamer is? I know a bitch that'll do that for $49.99 in the city. Hell no,
I thought your guys' strip club near you got blown away by the tornado. Is it back up?
Oh, you don't get a Cleveland steamer in the strip club, big dog. You gotta go to a hotel for one of those. Again, I don't know if you know what that is. You might need to Google or something, but it's a nasty thing. They do some strange things for a little change here in Dayton. But look, no, not really. But to be fair, $60 is a lot of money, man. I'm a fucking degenerate. Most of these cards ain't really worth $60 every once in a while. Like if I'm keeping it a buck, I kind of rarely come away from an event feeling like, well, that was worth my $70.
Right.
Like, I kind of need every fight to be low-key exciting to really get that kind of feeling, and that happens rarely. This wasn't the worst card I've ever seen, but, you know, afterwards I was like, bruh, I wish to God I could have found a stream. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't happy with spending my money for it. Like, look, not to just jump ahead and ruin everything, but what we really learned, right? We learned that one broad that looks like a soccer mom's tough as fuck.
Yep.
We learned Cyborg might be getting a little long in the tooth and she might actually be beatable by somebody other than Amanda Nunes.
Yep.
We learned that Max Holloway is exactly who we thought he was. And we learned what every goddamn knowledgeable MMA fan's known since fucking Hector was a pup. Goddamn it, Frankie Edgar should be at 35.
Yep.
So, you know, not really. Like, nothing dramatic happened. Nothing, like I said, a couple cute knockouts. But overall, to answer your fucking question very long-windedly, no, I do not feel like I got my money's worth.
Okay, and I think that's where my point is going towards. Even though the co-main and the main, you know, were interesting fights, and I think they produced, you know, at least something that people were, you know, pretty happy that they saw. I don't think most of those people were like, yeah, I got my money's worth out of this pay-per-view. So what's the last pay-per-view that you can remember was worth your $65?
Again, I smoke too much for these type of questions. I probably have to have a little thing here, but I mean, look, I'll put you like
Well, I mean,
I'll put you like
what sticks out in your head?
Fuck, what fuck do I know about?
I hate to say maybe.
This year, there's probably been 2 or 3 events that I feel like have been worth my money overall. I'd have to go back and look at them, but I feel like most of the events that we pay for these days ain't really worth it. Even that fucking John Jones event, fucking Ben Askren and Jorge Masvidal and shit, like, it was really fluffed up and shit, but in the grand scheme of things afterwards, John Jones fight was a bit of a dud. The Jorge Masvidal moment was brilliant, but it wasn't really a great fight. It was a great moment. Amanda Nunes was kind of fun seeing her thunderstrike Holly Holm. I can't hate on that, but, like, you know, generally speaking, that card wasn't tremendous overall either.
I'll tell you which one I thought was worth the money, and it's gonna be weird to say. 238, the Tony Ferguson Cowboy fight, the Shevchenko Jessica Eye fight, even though it was a fucking massacre. But the main event, like with Henry Cejudo and Marlon Moraes, I thought it was pretty solid.
Yeah, no, I can't agree to that. Henry Sully's anything for me, so I'm sorry that I'm out with Henry on that. I'll pay for it, but it ain't worth it with that little fucking prick there.
I'll tell you what, on paper, 241 looks like fire.
Right. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I think that's a pretty good example, and obviously we'll get into it a little bit on the show, but, like, I think that one's worth it. Not many, though, man, to keep it just like, generally speaking, like I said, man, I think after this year's said and done, maybe 6 events.
Yeah.
6 or 7, maybe, being generous, will have actually really been worth that pay-per-view money. And that's not saying too much, man.
I think that's the point, right? Like, again, I think we're gonna go back to this. The UFC should have the model of the WWE at this point, right? Put everything on their streaming service. You'd pay, you know, a flat fee a month, and they're still gonna give you these, you know, these events. Mm-hmm. You're still gonna watch them, but at least you're not shelling out $65 for a subpar event, right? Because, I mean, to me, the last good event was probably the last Conor event that I could think of. That was like, was like impactful, right? That you can really say, like, damn, that was either that or maybe.
Oh, dude, you're right. That's the one where Derek Lewis came back in the last second and knocked out Bull Cobb.
That was good. That was a fun one.
Ferguson Pettis, where they had to stop the fight in between rounds because Pettis broke his fucking hand.
Yeah.
Let me throw out a theory for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I think you're right, Jesus, but I tell you what, I think that they are going to do that. I tell you what I think. I think all of this shit has been leading towards that. I think the end goal, and I don't even necessarily think it'll be Fight Pass, because you must understand right now, really, the HNIC, for lack of a better term right now, is that Ari Emanuel prick. Okay? Mm-hmm. Dana White's a figurehead. That guy owns most of Hollywood. So he owns an entertainment industry. I feel like eventually they're going to. I think this ESPN deal and all these little deals they're doing right now are to get back that $4 billion. And I feel like once they get that money back, they're going to go all in on themselves, and they're going to launch the real Netflix of fighting. And I think everything that Fight Pass is gobbling up, and everything that the UFC, like, I think at some point they're going to put it all on some major platform and charge us all 10, 15 a month. And I think we're all going to be happy as larks to be there. And I think Dana White is cultivating this boxing shit to put that on there too.
Do you think, Fred, that the end game is going to be on their platform, on the ESPN platform? And here's the reasoning. Because you look at how all the pay-per-views that are, being done through ESPN at this point, it's all being placed on the ESPN app. Like, so
right.
I got an email, when was it? Last week or maybe this week? I don't know if you guys got it as well. You probably didn't, but I got a email saying that the Amanda Nunes fight and everything was on ESPN now for free. So as long as you pay for the service, now you can watch the whole event, blah, blah, blah. And so I'm not getting any of those things from Fight Pass. Fight Pass stopped sending me stuff a long time ago. But they're not even trying to sell me that Fight Pass no more. But what I'm saying is, it seems to me like eventually they're just going to, cash in on a big, multi-year, 10, 15-year deal, kind of like the NFL, right? And it's going to be all events live on ESPN. It's going to be our hub. We're going to have all our announcers. We're going to have the big stupid robot with the freaking NFL music on Saturday night. That's what I think they're going to do. And like Fred said, right now, what they're doing is they're just cashing as much money as they can before this model dies, this pay-per-view money. And then once it dies, they're like, well, we made our money. We're out.
Okay, so here's the deal, right? I think that definitely it's one or the other. Either they're going to go, pay-per-view's dying. That's a fact, Jack. So, yeah, they're either going to go, A, all in on ESPN and try to make themselves the NFL, or B, they're going to go WWE route and try to literally take over the fight game with their own app. I think that's what they're going to do, because I think that's where all the money's at. Why split the money with ESPN when you don't need to? You own and run the whole product. And if you're Ari Emanuel, what do we need? I've got it all. I run movies. So I've got distribution. I've got promotion. I've got anything we could possibly need. That's why they just built that. They built that UFC center to shoot the fucking Dana White, whatever the fuck the star, like, yeah. I mean, they can kind of do whatever they want. So I feel like all these things are just a means to an end for them to eventually just bet it all on black on themselves. And quite frankly, I hope they do that. It makes it easier for the fan. I would love for them to at some point, because right now it's chaos like it's been for the last 10 years. Goddamn, some fights are on Fight Pass, some fights are on ESPN Plus, some are on the actual ESPN channel. I would love for it to just all go to a one app. And like some of the shit that's on Fight Pass, the Eddie Bravo Invitational, some of the Glory Kickboxing, I wouldn't mind watching. It's just a clusterfuck now, man, because I'm used to using the ESPN Plus app now. It's, you know what I mean? I've only got so much fucking brain space. Put all that shit on one app. I hit that fucking one button. Let me have my Dana White, my Zuffa boxing, the fucking UFC, the goddamn Glory. Make it all simple. Son, I'd pay fucking $20 a month for something like that, probably.
Isn't that kind of the initial problem that we were always talking about? How like it should be literally like super easy for them to take your money and then give you the product, right? Like this whole, and I still see that people are having problem with the ESPN app on like their Roku TV or whatever, that it's still like you have to sign in, you have to sign out of it, you have to re-download stuff.
Right.
And you're right, it's not perfect right now, and that's fine. But I think the other thing is the reason I think that they would probably try to make a bigger deal with ESPN and stuff like that is because of the fact, you're right, Fred, they may have the infrastructure, they may have the connections and all that stuff. But if you're getting paid for 500,000 viewers off the top of a pay-per-view and you don't even have to attempt to get those viewers, you're already getting paid for that amount. Why even go through the trouble of doing anything else? Yeah, you're going to be splitting some money, but you're also getting paid for 500,000 viewers. Tell me that these last pay-per-views have gotten 500,000 views on by themselves, 500,000 buys.
No,
I don't think so.
That's true.
I think it's like it's crickets over there on how many people are actually paying for the pay-per-view.
But let me tell you something, and y'all better stop doubting DW and Ari Emanuel, all them Jews over there that run Hollywood. Y'all better stop fucking. Because let me tell you something. Imagine this, right? Imagine DW gets this boxing thing going, and they get in a little war with DAZN, DAZN, whatever the fuck, and they get Anthony Joshua. They get Deontay. Can you imagine a streaming service where on Friday night you get to watch Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury 2, and then on Saturday night you get to watch Danielle Cormier, Stipe Miocic 2, and it costs you $20 for both of them. And then on Sunday night you can watch fucking Rico Van Hooven and that goddamn crazy Badr Hari. You know what I mean? Like, it would be a fucking wet dream for us if they could actually get all those things there. And I don't think it's impossible.
They could charge $30 a month for that, and you
Bro,
get everybody.
Degenerates like us are paying 60, 70 for the pay-per-view anyways, and the ESPN Plus, and the fuck, you know what I mean? Like, if you could boil that shit down to 20, 25 a month, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm over-assuming, but I just feel like a lot of us would be on that train.
I mean,
streaming. I wouldn't even stream.
No,
you have to.
A month, yeah, fucking, it's worth it. I'm
gonna have to. Well, I don't have to sit there and hope the stream doesn't cut out every 15 seconds.
Right,
great.
Right.
And that's the thing. I mean, if you simplify it, like even anybody that has been doing the pay-per-views over the last few years, you add up all that money,
I don't even want to.
Way more than what it would be $30 a month, right? Like, like $30 a month would be like, oh my God, this is like a heaven send, it's like so much cheaper, and that's the thing. I think the UFC knows this by what they've already done with Fight Pass. They know they have a certain amount of degenerates that are going to be like, oh, well, yeah, that's a great deal. And they're going to buy it. Right. And I think they're waiting for like those last like 200,000-300,000 people that still buy the stupid pay-per-views to start dropping out. And then they're going to be like, all right. We give a pay-per-view dying. And here we go. Here's your new thing.
Okay. Curiosity's sake. And then we can get the fuck off of this because we ain't really talking about nothing. We've been on the podcast for 10 minutes. Hypothetically, right? Say this shit happens. Say the UFC folded everything we get on Fight Pass. It all goes to this one app, right? And now say they buy DAZN. So everything that's on that, like the UFC buys Bellator, Dana White's new boxing shit, get like, how much would you pay for that a month? Like if we could get like all the best boxers, all the best MMA.
Where's that little meme that Fry from what was it, Futurama? Take my money?
Yeah, bro. Like, I mean, again, we're degenerates, but it's like, bro, I'm probably in at like 50 a month.
Yeah.
If every month we got like a Canelo or a Deontay what was the cat's name? Gervonta Davis, the Tank. Fuck, you bring Floyd back, and then you get Glory Kickboxing, and then we got all the UFC, and you bring those guys from Bellator. My dick's getting hard just thinking about like, who the fuck wouldn't pay big bank for that monthly?
I'd be so in on that.
40, 50 a month, I'm in. I'm spending that anyways on these rink-a-dink pay-per-views. Like, the truth be told, you probably have me at 60 or 70 a month. I don't like saying that out loud, but if it was all that, I'd probably be like, fuck it. Here's my 60 to 600 a month or a year, but fuck it.
I mean, it depends on what the money gets you. Straight, the 70 to $50 a month gets you all of that shit, and there's constantly shit. Like, dude, that's what we do every weekend anyways, watch fights.
Right.
Pay-per-view fights, bullshit fights, fucking bare knuckle boxing. Bellator comes out with a fucking card in the middle of Connecticut with nobody on it. What's to watch that shit? Like, that's how
crazy. I hate to get on some really crazy fucking stoned hippie shit, but it's weird, right? It's like everything else in life. It really always boils down to this. When humans decide to work against each other, we get half the work done. Right now, Bellator's trying to do their thing. Boxing is complete chaos.
Yeah.
DAZN and we're all broke apart in this combat sports world. If we all united, you could probably charge them all of us fucking combat sports fan $100 a month, and we'd all probably figure it out. Well, like every boxing match, every kickboxing, like you couldn't watch combat sports unless you ordered X app, period. Now you would get all your stars there. Half the fucking world would be getting that. If they charge like $20, if they made it actually like doable, they'd probably start churning 20 times the profit out. You know what I mean? Like if we all could actually get all the fights we wanted from boxing to kickboxing and fucking wrestling and every. Who the fuck wouldn't fucking tune in for that? Everybody who's not a stick and ball sports person would be in on that money.
It's funny because this sounds like the cable model, right? Back in the day.
Back in the day.
You know, like back in the day, it was like all these channels, and then cable came along and was like, hey guys, all the channels you want, plus some other stuff, and we'll all package it together. You're only paying $100 a month. Hey.
So anyway,
You know?
I always that fucking meme back out.
So I always talk to everybody about pendulums, right? Everything swings back and forth. For at one point, cable was the shit. When we were kids, cable was if your friend had cable, you're at your friend's house all the fucking time, right? So then we are getting away from that. We're cutting the cord now. We're streaming this instead. We're streaming that. We're streaming this. Well, NBC's about to be on Netflix. Disney's coming out with their own shit. Like Netflix is getting picked apart left and fucking right like it's nothing. Soon enough, you're not gonna have jack shit. You got all these fucking streaming sites. And I'm not paying $10 for every each one of these motherfuckers. You know what I mean? So yeah, and if like a handful of years, someone's gonna come by like, hey guys, and we're back to the cable shit. Wow,
it'll just be a streaming. It'll be a streaming version of it. Like so you're paying $5 for Disney. You're paying $5 for blah, $5 for blah. Well, I'm a multi-trillionaire. We'll buy them all. We'll get them all to you for $12.99, Jack. How about that? And of course, us being the poor broke pricks we are, we go, well, we'll save $3 a month. Dang, I'd be stupid not to do that one. Yeah, here we go. Like
we get suckered into the dumbest shit.
Because we're broken, we got to. I hate Walmart, but I shop there constantly. What are you gonna do?
Okay. Speaking of broke and stupid, let me see if we can switch this a little bit back to MMA here. Where do you think Cyborg's next fight is going to be? You were talking about it earlier, Eddie. She's complaining about her treatment. She's complaining she ain't getting the respect. Dana White's on the other side saying she don't want to take a fight. She's running. Where's her next fight?
Bellator. God willing. Hopefully, Bellator. Look, okay. First of all, put it out there. I am not a Cyborg fan, but I also do not hate Cyborg. I'm just super annoyed with the constant complaining about everything. You keep getting main events in Brazil and co-main events here and there and championship fights. You got the Nunes fight like you wanted to, and you get mad anyway. Like, no matter what anyone does, you get upset. Now, does she deserve respect? Goddamn right she does. Is Dana White, bullying her? We don't know. She keeps releasing these videos saying, here's the bullying that's going on. Some people are saying, her boyfriend's the one pulling the strings on that bullshit. But, you know what I mean? Like, I just, look, fine. This isn't working here. You don't like how you're being treated? Cool. You're a free agent. I think it's like a 3-month period or a 6-month period of negotiating before she can actually just go anywhere. Just go to Bellator.
It could be, but the UFC could waiver that, and then she could be a free agent. Do you think the UFC is going to go through the trouble of trying to renegotiate her contract?
Yeah, they will. She's a name. I mean, although the UFC, and Fred, you can take over here from here, but the UFC does have a history of somehow being able to fucking tell when someone's done, and they let him go to like you won, or they let him go to Bellator or whatever, and all of a sudden they're shitbirds out of nowhere, right? So I don't know.
Usually. So. Look, okay. What was your question, Jesus? What do we think? Where do we think she will fight next, or where do we think she should fight next? So it's like, what do we think is actually going to?
Give me both answers.
Okay, because I think they're different for me. For me, at least. I think you're right. I think she's gone. I think she fights in Bellator next. I think that's what actually happens. But I think that's stupid. I think that she needs to stay in the UFC because at the end of the day, the only fight she has that matters, that's going to generate any real money for her, pay-per-view wise, and more importantly, that's going to do anything. She has to have the Amanda Nunes fight.
Yep.
Like, let's just keep it a beam. Let's stop talking craziness here. She got starched out by her. If she leaves now, all these people out there, oh, with Dana White's a meanie. He called her Vanderlei in a dress. Let me tell you something, Jack. All those Reddit threads, she's been called way worse. Let's fucking stop it right now. About
how long ago was that, by the way?
That was 32 years ago. Either way, fucking, it ain't that's the big fucking cloud over fucking Cyborg. I mean, she got caught publicly using steroids. She's jacked out of her fucking mind. You think Joe Rogan and Dana White are the only two dudes walking around making jokes about her having a dick? And seriously, this idea that like MMA community didn't know what to think until Dana White said she looked like Vanderlei dress. Now we're all like, oh yeah, she's a tranny. Okay, yeah, like that fucking joke wasn't being whispered ever since she beat up Gina Carano. Let's get the fuck real for just a second and a half, man. The reality is she got sparked out by Amanda Nunes. And if you guys, or not you guys, but whoever the fuck, if you motherfuckers out there think that they're going to let her go to Bellator and they're not just going to play her and play that card up. And, I've seen people, I think even Luke Thomas, and I enjoy Luke, but I've seen him talking about like the fact that, oh, that's what Dana White's doing now by saying that, like, I don't blame her for not wanting to take that fight with Amanda Nunes. I mean, these people kind of get on my nerves. Yeah, man, he's a fucking promoter for that promotion and he's good at promoting. So if she's going to jump ship on him and I got a champion that's done sparked her out once, what do you think I'm going to say, man? How you think I'm going to paint that narrative? Well, she probably would have had a good chance at beating my champion, but she left, so who knows? Go. Come on, man. Like, and Cyborg should know this too. I hate to say this, and it is what it is. They kind of got Cyborg by the short and curlies. Can she walk and get paid good money to smash cans in fucking China or Bellator? Absolutely. She's been doing that most of her career. But if she wants to make the big paychecks, the big bread, and even more importantly, if she wants to get her legitimacy back as the baddest woman walking the earth, she has to get that Amanda Nunes fight. Even if she's got to take a little price cut, bro. If that's what she wants, she needs to make that happen.
I agree with you, but I think everybody's crazy for thinking that her next fight's going to be a Bellator. Honestly,
you think it's going to be Rising?
No, I think it's going to be one.
What?
One because
do they have a featherweight division?
No, and it doesn't matter because one has been paying the people that go over there. Look at the people that they have acquired. They've gotten Mighty Mouse. They've got Rich Franklin, who's one of their like head executives over there. Now they got Misha Tate as the president of one. They have Eddie Alvarez. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have names and they know what to do with those names. Look at Ben Askren. Even though Ben Askren went there, like one of the first guys to go over there, he got paid and his name was still out there kind of. We still talked about what Ben Askren was doing in like Fred was saying, smashing tomato cans. So I think at this point, she could still get paid pretty handedly. And now one is going to be doing stuff on American television, on TNT, I believe, correct? So she's going to get that exposure, that she might want. I don't think it's going to be in the UFC any longer after this.
Well, here's the thing, though. Bellator actually has a woman featherweight division that they've been low-key cultivating. They've got Julia Budd as a champion. To us hardcore degenerates, you can, especially coming off of Cyborg's last fight, you can kind of sell that fight a little bit at this point. But at the end of the day, like I said, the only fucking fight that anybody really gives two wet farts about as far as Cyborg's concerned right now is the Amanda Nunes rematch.
It ain't happening.
Well, I mean,
I don't think
I tend to agree with you, but I'm just the reality is that's the fight that only, you know what I mean? Yeah. There's literally no girl on earth I would care to watch Cyborg fight other than Amanda Nunes. And here's the flip side and the strange thing about that, right? It ain't the same for Amanda.
No.
Like, it shouldn't be like that, but Amanda's the champ, so it's just like, who's next at 35? Even if she's going to kill her, like, the train will roll on without Cyborg. Cyborg needs Amanda Nunes bad. She needs that fight bad for money, for legacy, for even bargaining power moving forward. Like, she really needs that fight, man. I don't think she's going to take it because she seems like throughout his career, she's had a bit of a fedor. We're almost lucky to see her there. Like, she avoided the UFC for a long time. So I could see her and her team being like, fuck it. We're walking, Jack.
And honestly, the only way she's going to get the Nunes fight is if she signs a long-term contract. Right? They don't want her to fucking win the belt and then leave. Now, I think there's always a clause in her contract that says, all right, if you win, you have one more.
Well, no, that's what it's a championship clause.
Right, championship clause.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Look, we'll sign you for one fight, big girl. If you lose, if you win, you stuck because you're the champ. No problem.
Right.
But the other thing you don't want to do, though, is you can renegotiate. And then you're giving the power back to the fighter. The UFC is not in the business of giving Cyborg that ability to be.
Listen.
have the ability to dictate what she's going to get paid, how she's going to fight, and all this stuff. And here's the thing: Eddie was right when he mentioned it. She's gotten co-main event spots. She's gotten a fight in Brazil, in her home country. She's gotten the promotion and the push. Her complaining and wanting a public apology from Dana White and Joe Rogan is so ridiculous at this point. Because if the UFC did not like her and did not want her around, she would not be in those positions that she's in.
Listen, that shit's ridiculous too. I've done said this before, and I'm gonna say it again. I don't know what people don't understand about this. Do you know what the UFC likes more than any of these fighters? Making money.
Yeah.
They like somebody who puts asses in seats, man. They are trying to sell as many tickets as possible every time out. If you're not fighting, it's because you're probably putting up a stink. Believe me, the UFC, look, man, here, let me keep it a beam with you. Shevchenko, cute, very strong fighter. She ain't selling no motherfucking tickets. As a matter of fact, I'll go out on a limb and put it to you like this. Right now, ain't no motherfucking female fighter in MMA really moving no needles, except Amanda Nunes and Cyborg. There's one fight in women's MMA that matters right now. If we're keeping it a beam. For degenerates like us, sure. There's the Shevchenkos. There's the fucking karate hotties. There's the whatevers. We could go on for days. There's the Wing Jang Lings and blase, the Jessica Andrades. But in the grand scheme, the fight that would like ESPN's going to care about and your local yokel with the fucking affliction shirt cares about, it's one fight. One fight, and it's Amanda Nunes and Cyborg. And the beauty of that fight for the UFC is, check it out, they fight again, right? So this can go one of two ways. Either Amanda Nunes wins again, and we solidify the fact that we got the baddest bitch walking on earth, and we'll figure out what to do with her next. Or Cyborg wins, and then guess what? You get a part 3. So we get to milk that fucking cow again. Goddamn bottom line is the UFC, Cyborg, everybody really needs this fight to happen. If it don't happen, it's going to just go to show you how much politics fuck up fighting.
100%.
Goddamn it, Cyborg needs it. Amanda needs it.
Yep.
The UFC needs it. If Cyborg goes anywhere else and doesn't have this fight, it's a goddamn travesty.
The DJ went to fucking 1, and we haven't thought about him forever, right? So
and the sad fact is, DJ ain't half the star that Cyborg is.
Right.
Or was or nothing. I mean, it's just fucking true. He can go and it don't matter. Cyborg can actually move the needle with the right girl.
All right, real quick. So someone sent me this link on Twitter earlier. It turns out, and Cyborg actually posted this. I think her fucking YouTube people. I'm assuming her fucking boyfriend did it. But it's a video called "Cyborg confronts Dana White backstage after UFC 240 win," with a big caption on the actual video. It says, "Cyborg calls Dana White a liar face to face." Like, oh, okay, yeah, that's the guy's gonna give a shit. So according to my MMAfighting.com, I haven't watched the video. So, but in the video, Cyborg says, "You know, I text you for the rematch. You know this. Stop lying about it. What are you saying that I don't want to fight? You know what I want to. You know that I want to fight, and I'm not scared." And Dana White responds saying that he wasn't lying, but that she may not have heard the entire story regarding negotiations and the potential of the rematch. He says, "I'm not lying about it. I don't know if you know how it played out with management and whatever, but we want to do that fight. I want to do that fight right now. We'll get it done." So, like,
Jesus Christ Almighty! I wish to God our platform was bigger sometimes, so more people could hear the fucking game that I'm about to put you goddamn motherfucking morons onto. Okay. Here's the fucking newsflash, you fucking retards out there. Does anybody think that Cyborg's afraid of anybody? Now, I like DW, and I'm about to explain to you why that nobody's wrong in this case.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Cyborg is definitely not afraid of Amanda Nunes. Even after getting sparked out by her, I guarantee you that Cyborg thinks 1,000,000% sure she can do the same thing to her. The tables just need to go a little differently. No doubt about it. And when Dana White says she doesn't want that fight, he's not saying she's scared. That's what we're all saying. What he means is she wants more money than we think she's worth to take that fight. We're offering her that fight, and we're giving her X amount of dollars, and we're telling her basically, look, check it out. We're going to give you X amount to show, X amount to win. Her management team is saying, nah, fuck that. We want more. And we are now saying, no. If you want this fight, you need to take it at that price. And they are now saying, nah. In which case, I am saying, apparently they don't want that fight. So, goddamn, man, it's always money and management. Of course, Cyborg's not afraid, but Dana's also not just lying. He's, stretching the truth a little bit, but it's also not, he's not going to explain all this to fucking Brett Okinawa. Like,
Oh my God.
You know what I mean? Like, he's fucking just there letting you know, like, look, if they want that fight, of course we want the fight, but we ain't paying that whole $100 million to do it. It's business. Like, it's always business. These fucking people, Jesus Christ almighty. That's the truth. You know I want fight, Dana. Will you go sit down, Cyborg? He knows you want to fight, you goofy, crazy twat. Your fucking management team's probably asking for an arm and a leg. And you coming off of getting sparked.
There you go. I'm gonna have to fucking come back to the video tomorrow and just section that out and put it on Twitter. All right.
How does Fred just get that name, butcher that name like worse and worse every week? It's
Okinawa?
Well, I did that one on purpose, Jack. I know that's Japanese city or something.
I laughed so good that I was like, as soon as he said it, I heard Jesse giggle. I was like, I wasn't the only one. All right. Shout out to Raider. Tony's hanging out. Tevin's here. Tevin says Max the GOAT at 145. Call me a hipster. Fuck it. Okay. Tony thinks Cyborg's going to Bellator and Raider says what's up. All right. So just to wrap up UFC 240.
Can we wrap it up with that, I guess? I mean, listen.
You can.
Here, look. Here, let's wrap it up so we can get to it. God damn it. Here's a quick wrap on it. If Frankie don't go to 35, let me tell you something. John Jones, you better go to heavyweight. And God damn it, Frankie Edgar, take your little small Italian funny ass down to bantamweight. That's the end of that. And Tav's right. Goddamn Max is the walking GOAT at 45. What else is there to say? Jose Aldo. He fucking beat him twice. And don't give me no horse shit about him being old. He's still fighting and doing okay.
But do you think, though, I think what people are harping on is the fact that Jose Aldo, as he was a champion, the people he defended against during his run versus the people that Max has defended on his run, he hasn't had enough of a time to defend that title as many times as Jose Aldo did against the competition he has.
Okay, this is just my point of view on this, okay? I think Max is the GOAT because of the way he's been winning fights and stuff like that, but also the way he goes after fights. You guys remember as soon as Jose defended once, I think, or twice, he started fighting to not lose? When before he was fighting to fuck somebody up, right? Max always comes to take someone's head off.
Listen, Jack, also, to be fair, I mean, Jose Aldo had a couple duds in that title defense run he had there too. I mean, if we're just keeping it a bean, there was a few fights in there where, I mean, it ain't like he was fighting these crazy killers or some shit like that. Like, I don't look, whatever. God damn it. Max is the GOAT to me. Fuck it. That's a fucking subjective opinion. Motherfuckers. Whatever. Fuck it.
Yeah. All right, and then just a couple things in that card. I know he lost, but Yoshinori Ori is a fun motherfucker to watch fight. That little Asian dude jumping back and forth, like all the energy till Dowodu fucked his legs up and then knocked him out in the third. So even though he lost, I think that dude's got fucking crazy potential. So
Dowodu's a beast too, though. There were a few highlights on the card.
Right. And I like Dowodu a lot, but he did a lot of like not stationary, but he stayed like right here the entire time. To where Ori's very back and forth and moving around. His cardio was pretty good till he got his legs cracked and his body cracked a few times, and he slowed down. Either way, both those guys are fucking, to me, are just phenomenal. They have bright futures. I like the guy kind of style that Ori is, because that was fun to watch. All right, let's see. Yeah, we got a little bit of time. Talk about this weekend out of New Jersey, UFC Newark from the Prudential Center. This Saturday, let's see, looks like it's all on ESPN. Yeah, it's all TV. So the prelims start at 9 a.m. my time. Holy shit. That's noon your time over on the East Coast. Some of the fights on Saturday.
What the fuck?
The early ass fucking card. Dude, the main card, allegedly, according to this thing on Google, it starts at noon my time, making that 3 p.m. your time?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Hey, early cards.
All right, yeah, I guess whatever.
I mean, looking at who's on the card, I mean, you could tell they want to get this over with, get to the main event very quickly here.
They want to
fair enough.
at least get to the main card. I mean, Mickey Gall's on there, Antonina Shevchenko. Although that means you're gonna have to mute the TV. Her sister's gonna be screaming, "Hey!" every 15 fucking 9:50, every 2 seconds.
Diet Shevchenko.
Yeah, right. Lauren Murphy hasn't fought in fucking forever. Arizona girl taking on Mara Romero Porella in the prelims, and in the main card, we got Volkan and Latifi got canceled. Darko Stoshik against Kennedy. What the fuck your last name is? Donghyun Ma against Scott Holtzman's gonna be solid. Trevin Giles against Gerald Mearshart should be pretty solid. Joaquin Silva against Nasrat. Sorry, buddy, your last name. But the co-main and main, I mean, everyone just wants to get to the main event. Jim Miller against Clay Guida, still fucking doing it. Co-main event. I believe Jim Miller's a New Jersey guy too. And then Colby Covington against Robbie Lawler. Colby talking all that shit already. Robbie Lawler, not the kind of guy that talks much shit. He's,
Ooh,
kind of
God.
But forget the rest of it. I mean, okay, I'm taking Jim Miller, by the way. Let everybody know. But main event, dude. Robbie Lawler, Colby Covington, former sparring partners. Colby's been telling everybody about how he used to help Robbie for his title fights and for any of his fights. And now he's in there talking about, I trained with you. All my coaches trained with you. You bailed on us, called him a diva, a bunch of this shit. Fred, who are you picking in this one?
Well, I mean, listen, I am not a great picker of fights. So at this point, I pretty much just pick with my heart. And there ain't much on this earth that would please me more than seeing Robbie Lawler do exactly fucking to Colby what old Jorge did to Ben a couple weekends ago. I would love to see Robbie just starch Colby out. Now, and you know what? I don't think it's that unlikely, to be fair. To be fair, this is a really good fight. I think the general consensus would probably be that Colby going to probably do what Colby does. The issue with that is Robbie always gets his licks, right? I can't think of the last time. I think the last time that Robbie really got mowed through was when Jake Shields pulled a standing guillotine on him back in fucking Strike Force or Elite XC or whatever.
That and T Wood knocking him out for the title.
But that's a knockout. That's a one thunder strike. We ain't got to worry about that with Colby. You understand me? That's out the door. And I don't think his submission prowess is that good. Now, look, could he out wrestle Robbie, tire him out, and get a late submission? Sure. And that might even be the most likely scenario in this fight. But I tell you what, that first couple minutes of the first round will be interesting. Robbie's super strong. He should have enough defensive wrestling to keep Colby off of him, at least for a couple minutes of the first round. And he really only needs one. I mean, you can say that with damn near anybody in the sport, but goddamn it, Robbie Lawler is somebody you mean it. He only needs just a little bit of friction, and he can fucking snuff Colby. And I pray to all the gods that's what's happened. That's what happened. I guess if I was betting my fucking kid's life on it, Colby's probably the smart bet. But I think Robbie's a live dog, man. Robbie can definitely catch Colby. And he's the fucking, what do they call those pricks? 8-point strikers. Fucking Robbie hits you with anything, Jack. It's fucking snoozy time. Elbows, knees, feet, hands. He's a fucking diverse, dangerous striker. Yeah, this is a really good fight, man. I hope Robbie gets the knockout, but Colby probably going to do Colby.
Yeah. All right. Jesse, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it's kind of tough because you look down Robbie Lawler's record and he's never lost 3 in a row. So I just don't see how he's gonna lose to Colby, especially since they have the history together. And I think quietly Robbie Lawler really wants to put a beating on Covington, and not just because he doesn't want to lose 3 in a row. I also think because of all the aggression and anger that he had in that Ben Askren fight, that he didn't get to, finish that fight. In his head, he didn't really lose that fight. I think he's bringing all that aggression and anger to this fight too. Also, Colby has just been running his mouth a lot. So, but it seems to me like Colby is not a better wrestler or a stronger wrestler than Hendricks was back in the heyday, and Lawler was able to, stop his takedowns and really do what Lawler likes to do in those fights, and make it a nasty, dirty fight. So yeah, I just think that he's improved enough to surpass Colby's game here. Although we have to remember that Dos Anjos did put it on him and win a decision against him, kind of in that same kind of grinding style. So, but I don't see Colby being able to do that type of style of fight. Like Fred was saying and alluding to, it's his Covington's more of a grinding wrestling style of fight. It's not going to be like a kickboxing range, clinching and dirty boxing. It's that's not his game.
I will give Colby this. He has been pretty entertaining in his last couple fights. I'll give him that. He has like thrown some strikes and he has like kind of opened himself to get those takedowns. I'll give him that. To be fair, he has been pretty fucking entertaining. Even his fights have actually been relatively entertaining. Sorry to cut you off, Jesus.
No, you're good. You're right. But like I said, I'm gonna go with Lawler here.
I'm never gonna pick against Robert Lawler. I'm just not. Unless he fights Nick Diaz again, no, or Nate. Not doing it.
Outside of Daddy Fred, there ain't a white boy walking this earth with more swag than Robbie Lawler. Sometimes I don't even know if he's white. He looks like he might just be biracial just because of his swag.
Yeah.
Robbie Lawler's a bad motherfucker.
Yeah, no, I'm picking Robbie, but man, this the way Colby fights, the pressure he can put on somebody, the wrestling and everything. He's younger, just less miles on him. It's just he's got the kind of. It seems like the deck is a little stacked, but Robbie's got a chance to fucking show that he's still got plenty left in the tank. So, I mean, I don't know, but I'm taking Robbie, and I'm hoping Robbie wins for real.
And quickly before we wrap this up, again, I hate to fucking be crazy Colby in any way, but I do think that a small shout out should be given to Colby for taking this fight.
Yeah.
He kind of probably deserves the title shot, and he probably could have pulled a Stipe and waited long enough to get it. And he took a fight with a bad, dangerous motherfucker. Let me tell you something. Colby going to get touched up. Like he ain't, Robbie loses fights, but he's got a little bit of that motherfucking Tony Ferguson in him that usually you're going to get touched up and hurt a little bit. Colby's going to fucking get hurt in this fight. He deserves a little bit of credit.
100%.
Like for taking this fight, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to give credit where it's due. Colby's easy to hate on, but he's taking a fight against a dog, a real dog.
Let's see. Yeah, no, I mean, look. I think on top of that, I heard someone said that the Trumps are going to show up or something. Someone's showing up because he's got the whole MAGA, the whole MAGA moniker. He's
Trump Jr. supposedly.
Trump Jr. Okay. Is that the one that always he always has his mouth open? I don't know the difference between any of them. I know one of them just sits there and just, like walks around and talks the whole time. I'm like, dude, you're gonna catch a fly, bro. But fair enough. I don't know. I legit have no idea who they are. I don't care. I try not to pay attention. I really do. But like Twitter, like overall, like once I got back from vacation, I I was reminded how toxic Twitter really fucking is with like people. Like you can't have an opinion on anything. People fucking go off like it's fucking war. I'm like, dude, no, not doing it. Anyway, all right. Trying to look around what else we can hit while we're on here. Let's check the headlines here. Contender Series contract winner Antonio Trocoli. I think he's a light. He fought in the Dana's Contender Series. Pretty sure he's a light heavyweight, but it looks like he's getting released by the UFC before he even has a real fight after testing positive for nandrolone. So
that was short lived.
Very short lived.
Boy, guess who's never fighting in the UFC again after that?
Right. ABC passes rule alteration to definition of grounded fighter. You guys hear about that one?
Nah.
Pull it up right quick. No, it might be a little important. Let's see.
Real quick while you're looking it up and reading it. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Fred. Had his podcast come back for one show.
Oh shit, it's back.
So it's a one episode only. It's long, so hopefully that keeps us junkies at bay for a little bit. But shout out to Fred and his show.
What happened with that? You only doing one?
Gary's family went out of town.
So
he had the house to himself, so we could actually go over to his house and record one good episode. So we got one in right quick. But like I said, I'm still working on trying to find a place to where we can record and do the video. I really want to incorporate video, man. I feel like the video just would make it fucking jive a lot better.
And then, of course, shout out to Fred and his. I think it's your YouTube channel where you're doing your kind of food blogger type thing.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that, man. I've been really fucking digging that. Obviously, I love to eat. Anybody that follows me on social media knows I be eating a lot. So yeah, I'm doing this little food review type thing around the city. I'm having a lot of fun with that shit too. So if you're into food, follow me or look me up on YouTube, Gym City Jesus. That'll bring them shits up, and just get to hear my sexy, sensual voice talking about food as you seeing it with the barbecue sauce, baby.
Just don't watch it while you're hungry, because then it'll piss you off, because some of that food looks very delicious.
That's the point. That's the good thing. That's what we want.
Dude, there's no Bellator event until August 24th.
That's the banger fight?
The Mitrione Karitonov fight.
That's a pretty long layoff for Bellator. They're usually churning them out.
Well, yeah, but they've been doing a couple of those like 2 in 1 day fucking events. Scott Coker probably just like, bitch, I need a vacation. This is too much fun.
Yeah, for real.
But
you can see Scott Coker, kicking back in a hotel on his, in his pool or something. Just like, no events till later on.
There you go.
Money does a lot of shit for people. I know we got to wrap it up. I got to go too.
Right. We got time.
You remember Scott Coker from like fucking 8 years ago, and he looked like a literal troll?
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. He still looks rough, but I see him the other day. I'm like, look at you, Scott Coker. You fucking actually look better than you did 8 years ago. Living up, decent shape, motherfucking got him a little looking good. She's like, boy, money will do anything for anybody. I remember Scott Coker used to be a disgusting looking little thing.
Didn't I send you guys that Instagram meme where it says just remember, like, for the ladies, just remember you're not ugly, you're just poor?
You ain't lying, Jack. That's true. What the fuck? I've seen old Scott come up in a big way the last fucking 10 years. He used to look like shit.
I tell young guys and shit that are in school for like real shit, like engineering and fucking, being doctors and shit. I'm like, y'all ain't getting no bitches right now. Be patient. Those hoes are coming as soon as you graduate. I promise you. You get to pick a pick of the litter, whichever one you want. And that's not putting no ladies down. I'm just telling you how fucking shit is these days. It's fucking crazy.
Speaking of that, before are we like, do we got anything else on MMA here?
No.
Are we done with MMA? All right. So I want to throw this out before we go. Got nothing to do with nothing. I was watching Joe Rogan earlier, and Whitney Cummings was on there, right?
Yeah.
She brought a fucking sex.
Yeah.
So first off, that's hilarious. If you haven't seen that episode, you should totally go check it out. But as I'm watching the podcast, something came up, and I found it to be actually really fucking interesting. So they got this sex doll on there. They're talking about sex dolls and all this bullshit, and just, like kind of getting in depth with it, who buys them, why, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Then they get into talking about where it's going to go, just like the rest of our technology, right? And I don't know if did any of y'all see Westworld?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what came through my head, dude, when I watched that episode.
Are you hip to the show Westworld at all, Jesse?
Yeah. I saw like a couple of the first season, but then I dropped off.
Okay, fair enough. But you get the gist.
Yeah.
So,
I get that.
I think that we all probably can assume, even if it's like 100 years from now, that's probably coming, right? Like, you look at these new sex dolls now, and they're like, they're a little clunky, but they're fucking things that actually like move around and shit. So you would imagine, back in the fucking 50s, it was literally a blow up fucking plastic doll. So you can imagine that eventually it's going to go there. At some point, Jamie looks up on the show and he's like, there are prostitutes in Europe that are already kind of bitching that like they're going to get put out of business by these bitches. So I had never really thought about it like that. But then I started thinking, 100, 200 years from now, bitches worldwide might get put out of the prostitution profession. And there's a lot of easy jokes to make about that, but on a more realistic level, you know how many hoes fed their kids last night through prostitution? Through acts of prostitution, especially in like third world countries. Like, if all of a sudden all you got to do is buy like a doll or 10, and you literally can't tell them apart from other women, and they just literally go clean when they're not licking your ass or sucking your dick, and you can't get diseases from them, and they don't leave, and they just go sleep, like, that's very strange to think that at some point prostitutes might literally be put out of business.
Right.
It's an old saying, and it's like a funny thing to say that like prostitution is the oldest like profession in the book, but it's true.
Right.
And to think that like they might get put out of fuck. We don't talk about all these other people that are gonna get put out of business. What about all the fucking whores worldwide? That's a real fucking problem. And what are they gonna do? Like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna have millions of whores who have no other skills that have no use for no more.
Dude, I don't know.
I think what's gonna happen is Daddy Fred is gonna have to be making more money to support all these women that are in desperate need of a sugar daddy.
Listen, Daddy Fred ain't got nothing for all them, Jack. It's gonna be a whole lot of them hoes out of business. You understand me? You're talking about millions of girls, Jack. These hoes better learn a different fucking something. It ain't looking good for y'all. Boys too. That's another thing. Right now, I feel like women don't really pay for sex like that, you know. But fast forward 100 years, and they can get a doll that looks just like Brad Pitt with a bigger snake that doesn't say fucking no and fucking does whatever he's told. What the fuck would they need me for? With my stinky farts and my fucking goddamn depression? They put me right out the pasture or bring old Brad right in. Well, I would too. I wouldn't have me.
Right. No, I mean, shit, you're right. I mean, you can replace a lot of shit with it, with like a sex doll and stuff like that. You wouldn't need a relationship, right? Like a lot. I mean, look, humans need, you know, emotion, connection, all that shit. Some of us don't.
Right.
Some of us fucking don't.
Not as a side chick. Not for my prostitute for sure. They're definitely replaceable with a fucking dog.
Yeah.
If I can't tell the difference, why the fuck would I want a real whore that carries diseases and runs their mouth? I want one of those dogs, Jack.
I'm telling you.
Have you do all kinds of nasty shit and then I put you away afterwards.
Right. Exactly.
I just hope I live to see it. They need to come on with this technology. I'll be the first one in line to get me one. You understand me? I have like 3 of them.
The one that Whitney Cummings had in there, it looks like her. That's what
it looks a little rough. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, that looks so creepy." Put that goofy looking hoe in a fucking club at about 2:30 in the morning under those little weird lights. Be like, oh, listen, you know, a little box gets a little wet. I'll throw it up. Fuck, you understand me? Fuck it. Her eyeballs are a little googly, but ain't nothing that ain't fucking happened before.
Oh fuck, dude.
That's what I was gonna say. Look, for guys, it's not gonna matter what it looks like, dude. Guys are nasty, dude. So I, you know, there's a lot of
use a fleshlight now. So what the fuck? You might as well use a thing that's actually got a silicone ass to grab.
Right? No, hey, fucking. Raider says, "I wonder if they'll have the doll pre-programmed with slutty phrases." Yeah,
they already got that. The doll on there. They had it on jello mode. And they asked her like something about porn, and she was like, "Are you cheating on me?" True.
Dude, look, man, we all have a chick or two in our fucking resume where we were like, "Oh, fuck, was I thinking that night?" All right, so why wouldn't you go with a doll? Fuck.
Honestly, I think it's a pretty great deal overall. I don't see the problem with it at all. God damn it! If you're not good at sex, which most of y'all aren't, get you a doll. You can practice. You know how embarrassing it is trying to practice on a real girl? You don't know what the fuck you're doing. You come quick. Fucking sucks. You don't know whether to choke her or smack her tits or how hard you should do either. It'd be great to have a real life doll to practice on. You come out a fucking beast.
Can you imagine? It's got like little sensors and stuff, and it gives you a score afterwards of like too hard, too soft.
Let me tell you something, Jack. Hey, that fucking doll would be taking a pounding like nothing. I choked the fuck out of that doll, throwing a smack in an elbow. That doll wouldn't be fucking with Daddy Fred.
You know what though? That thing will turn into like a Dance Dance Revolution type of game. It'll be like a high scoring shit. You'll be like every time you go with a fucking doll, you're like, I gotta beat my score from last night. Let's go. Like,
I would be smashing that game. Throwing that fucking thing against the wall.
Oh shit!
You're choking it right before it comes.
Oh fuck! All right.
Oh my god.
Fell off the wheels. No, now you mentioned Rogan. Fuck, what was it that I was seeing all over the place?
Oh, the Miriam Nakamoto thing?
Huh?
The Miriam Nakamoto thing where he's paying for her knee surgery or
no, but that's cool. So this chick's had like a knee injury since like 2013, hasn't fought since then. He's paying whatever expense it cost. I think it was like 30 grand, something like that, for her knee surgery so she could fight again. So shout out to Joe Rogan on that. Here's what I was going at. When I okay, most of the time when I'm watching pay-per-views, I'm actually doing live tweeting for Cage Side Press, right? So I'm watching the action and I'm focusing on the action. I literally don't hear anything Rogan's saying, right? So I get done with the event. I usually before I log off, I just click on the fucking UFC 240 hashtag just see what people are saying. And I saw very little bit about Max Holloway. I saw very little bit about Cyborg. I saw a shit ton about fucking Joe Rogan's commentary. What did they take the day off? What the fuck's going on? Just constant bitching about Joe Rogan. I didn't hear it, so I can't tell you, right? But if you're Joe Rogan, you're a multi-millionaire at this point. You're probably making more money from your podcast than you are from doing this shit. You're mostly doing it for fun. And you just got back from a week and a half in Italy. Would you go home and sit down and start doing research for your next fucking card? Wouldn't you be a little rusty? Like, I'm not making all the excuses for Joe. But Fred, do you see what these people are complaining about? Because I mean, I honestly rarely pay attention to what he's saying.
Man, no. Maybe it's one of those deals where like when you smoke, you can't tell.
Right.
Like I always be walking in places and people be like, "Man, you stink," and it's like, "Fuck, I can't even smell it." But I guess it's just because like I smoked it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't get it. Like I've been seeing this narrative for a while now. Joe Rogan's so biased. Joe Rogan does this. Joe Rogan.
Right.
Maybe it's just me, but I feel like I mean, look, some cards, yeah, like does he say something stupid every once in a while? Sure. He's talking for 6 hours straight, you fucking ass fucks, man. I mean, like, yeah, every once in a while he says something kind of goofy, but generally speaking, overall, he still does a great fucking job. He knows what the fuck he's talking about. He's explaining the fight. And another thing, god damn cocksuckers. All right, here we go.
Wait, so, did you just put down your blunt?
Oh, yeah. So, because I've seen people talking about this, and again, it's another one of these things where it's like I almost don't know if people are like fucking stupid or just don't get it. Like this narrative that people are putting out there, like he was saying, like you would have thought Felicia Spencer was winning the fight the way he was praising her and blah blah blah. It's the same thing with the first Alexander Gustafsson John Jones fight. Now, again, before everybody gets fucking cute with me, I'm not comparing them fights. What I am comparing is going into the fight, I think the narrative was that John Jones was going to kill Gus. So when he started doing even remotely okay and actually hurt John, they went overboard with it. I think the idea was that Cyborg was just going to steamroll Felicia, whoever the fuck that nobody's ever heard of.
Right.
But then when she didn't, and Felicia actually cut her, and Cyborg's never even been cut in a fight before. Yes, I know, Luke Thomas. I know that fucking Cyborg was winning the fight and she was landing all the big shots. But the fact that she couldn't put her away, the fact that Felicia was actually getting some advantageous positions on the almighty Cyborg, the fact that Cyborg looked like she was actually getting tired when Felicia wasn't, those were things that kind of deserved to be propped up a little higher than they should have been because of the context of the fight, you fucking retard. He's acting like Felicia's winning that fight because she's supposed to get snuffed out in the first fucking minute. And lo and behold, she was not winning the fight. No, never was she winning the fight.
No, yeah.
God damn it. She was doing all fucking right at a couple points. And she did fucking elbow her, make her bleed, which is way more than any of us expected going into it. So that's why I think he was kind of a little skewed with that, because we all expected her to get sparked out in like a minute. And when she didn't, and she was actually doing okay, it's like, oh my God, she's doing great.
Yeah. Look, there's literally not one commentator that people agree on is the best. And you're always going to get this bullshit. Just like there's never any agreement on who the best ref is and all that. It's all subjective. So whenever people say, like, Joe's garbage, get rid of Joe. And I'm like, fuck off. Who gives a shit? Like, I don't know. It is what it is.
If you say Joe's garbage, you're an asshole.
Right. You're not paying attention.
Yeah. Might he have a bad event here and there or get a little wordy sometimes? Sure. But like, come on, garbage. You're a fucking dumbass. Come on.
But and here's the thing. Those people that are saying, replace Joe, blah, 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 are going to be the same morons that once Joe Rogan says, I'm done, no, well, he can't leave. Oh, they're pushing him out. Oh, they're changing my sport. Blah blah blah. They're the same ones going to be crying when he's gone. So just ignore those idiots.
Where all the people that were crying for Bert and fucking Stitch and all these people and Mike? You know what I mean?
Right. And I mean, to be fair, Joe's even way more integral than any of them.
Way
To be fair, losing Goldie was kind of a bummer. When we do lose Joe Rogan, when he finally decides to stop doing this for good, everybody that ever bitched, I think, will take it back a little bit. Because who's going to replace him? Dominic Cruz, John Anik? And don't get me wrong, I like them, but they're analytical as fuck. Every once in a while, you need somebody that's able to mix in a little bit of humor. DC
Cormier?
does it okay. DC does it pretty well. But listen, he's no Joe. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, he's good, but Joe Rogan's the fucking man. Joe Rogan is one of the more unique humans to do his job. He knows martial arts in a way that most people don't. And he's a very intelligent, well-spoken comedian. Like, you guys need to chill out on Joe, dog. He's probably the best we're going to get overall in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah.
And how many of those people that complain actually talk for more than 5-10 minutes in their day?
Ever. In front of public people. Yeah. Not to mention it's hard, man. Fuck.
Doing this show has shown me that even fighters don't want to do anything that's live or that's talking. Because they feel like they can't do it. So any of those commentator or anything, go ahead, try. Go ahead, talk into a mic for about 45 minutes. See how long it takes you before you start messing up, before you can't remember something, before you can't even read something that you wrote down in front of your face. It's not easy. Dude, until you do the job, don't knock it.
No, when I first started doing these podcasts and stuff, it was recorded, right? And I remember telling them, like, dude, we need to find a way to do this live. And they're like, well, why would we do that? None of us are ready for live. I'm like, shit, I've been doing radio for years. I can do live all day. I can literally, and I know I don't on this show because this is where the fuck keyboard wars. We can cuss our ass off. I used to do fucking noon shows, sports shows, and like DJ shows and everything, right? And I can be clean as fuck when I need to be. So I'm very good at being, talking live and all that shit. But like, you're right, it's not easy. It's very difficult, especially and a guy like Joe who finds humor and everything. You can hear when Joe holds back jokes that you want to hear. You know what I mean? Like, you want to hear him say some shit and he can't say it. Like back in the day where they got mad at him for calling it a rape joke.
The rape joke.
He had to call it the non-consensual sex joke. That shit was gold, motherfucker. We're gonna be missing shit like that when he's gone. I know.
And just how real he keeps it. I mean, the biggest example is when they were telling him and Cormier not to mention about Kevin Lee's staph infection.
Right.
And he's like, the first person asked, hey, that looks like staph, right, DC?
Yeah.
He's like, yep, that's staph.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. You knew I was supposed to talk about it because DC was chuckling. He was like, oh shit, what the fuck are you doing? And Joe's like, fuck that, talk about that shit. Like, it was so great. All right.
Yeah. We're gonna miss that.
Oh, fuck yeah, we will. And I think he'll be done. I think he'll do it for one more year at most. He'll do it for one more year.
I think Joe even might do one of those deals where we see him like once or twice a year on big events for a long time. Like, I think he might come in here and there. I could be wrong about that, but I just feel like Joe loves it. Like, I feel like he might not never completely go away. I feel like they might always leave it. Like, maybe he'll do the New Year's Eve card once a year or some shit like that.
July card. Fight week card.
Or we just get more fight companions, and then that's good.
I would prefer that. No. So I was about to say that. I like watching the fight companion by itself. Like, a lot of people will like sync it up. I don't, because they rarely talk about the fight. So I just like the fight companions are way more fun to watch. And I've only synced it up to a pay-per-view one time, and I enjoy the fuck out of that one.
Yeah. I agree. I enjoy the fight campaigns. I usually watch them the day afterwards. So it's almost like the recap of the fights for me, with them watching live and then all the bullshit in between too. Mm.
Yeah, and then what was I gonna say? As far as those go, so I think Joe was the very first one to do fight campaigns, obviously, right? And Joe works at the UFC and all that shit. He's got permission, whatever. So other podcasts all over the fucking place on YouTube started doing the same, and they're doing it comfortably for a while. And then this last event and the one before that, well, excuse me, the UFC's been going after shows and shit, like shutting down like YouTube channels. You guys hear about that?
Nah.
Like, YouTube channels getting shut down.
Are they showing it, or are they just talking about it?
They're not showing it. There's what they're saying is that they're just talking about it. So, and I don't watch live on any other fight companions. If it's not Joe, and I'm usually live tweeting the event. I don't listen to anything, right? And the shows that I'm talking about, I don't do it regardless. I don't have a lot of time. I have very few MMA shows that I actually listen to all the time. But the only thing I could think of is maybe they had the audio of the pay-per-view just loud enough for YouTube to pick it up. But they're like, who was one of them? Fuck, who was it? God damn it! It's a fucking show. They say they do. They're like on the McGregor gimmick a lot, like a lot.
The only guy I can think of,
the MMA holes. Sorry, you ever heard of MMA holes?
Oh yeah.
They're actually kind of like they're funny, right? Like they're actually not bad. But they were like going all at the UFC, and they had a dude had this video. I said, like, you know, going out to UFC saying, we're promoting your fucking product. And I said, shit, you shut our fucking channel down, blah, blah, blah. And then he just like, say it with me, fook the UFC. And I'm like, keep it up, bro. And I totally gave you get your shit back.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm sure they're good kids and all, but that whole we're promoting your product, it's like, homeboy, we're on ESPN. You'd suck my dick to get on ESPN. I think we're promoting your product.
Right.
Go talk about fly fishing.
yeah,
Right, right.
My favorite streamer of all time still is that kid on what was it on
Twitch?
On
Twitch?
On Twitch, yeah. The guy that was pretending to play the video games, he was live streaming.
Dude, I forgot what event it was, but he was like, oh shit, he's like playing it. And the fucking algorithm, because they thought it was a game, and he had it framed as a game, was like, oh, he's just playing a game, cool. Like, they didn't even look at it, like, oh, so good. And everybody watched the event on that shit. That dude was I mean, that's a good dude.
I think he did it a couple times too before he got finally caught.
Yeah, then he got caught. Yeah, no, but because everyone fucking snitched, like fucking Brendan Schaub. But yeah, dude, no, like I don't know these, and the people have been asking me for years now, a couple years now. We need to keep a Warriors fight companion. I'm just like, I wish we could. I think one time me and Ash did that did one for EBI, right? I think the problem is it's a long ass fucking that's a long ass event. EBI or UFC, anything. Those are long ass events, dude. Like if we were in a comfortable studio with a bathroom and shit like that, all your boys are together, like in the fucking Rogan.
Yeah. Right.
For me to sit right here for 6 or 7 hours, like Fred, you sit there for 6 or 7 hours, Jesse, like that's hard. And so I guess
even the main card would be hard.
That's so long, man.
3 hours would be a lot.
Right. So I don't know. So we'll probably not do any. Well, we don't even know. Fucking after today with the fucking Google Hangouts getting shut down tomorrow. So I'm gonna have to start to work on that fucking tomorrow to immediately start trying to find out what we're gonna do.
There'll be something. We're not the only fucker. The Google Hangouts is a pretty big platform. Surely there'll be something else to replace it quickly. I would imagine.
Right.
YouTube will probably have their own version of this. I would imagine.
I hope so.
Live or some bullshit like that.
Probably, but we'll let you guys know. Keep you guys posted as soon as we find out and everything. So, all right. Anything else you guys want to hit it before we go?
Real quick, if you guys are in the mood for a good movie, go watch Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I've seen it twice over the weekend so far.
Not twice?
Probably my favorite Tarantino movie. Ever.
Okay. Damn.
So, I was supposed to go this last weekend, and it was like me and my girl were fighting about whether it's gonna be Lion King or Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And actually, was fighting for Hollywood, but we ended up going out to dinner, staying out too late, and it was like, fuck it, let's go home.
You got to carve out some time. It's pretty much a 3-hour movie.
3-hour movie. Okay. That was like 240, something like that.
Nice. I dig it. Though.
And if you want to get fancy with it, if you can catch a 35mm print of the film, that'll up your enjoyment of said film even more. I know it's a little fancy, it's a little gaudy, but if you can find it anywhere, any theater that has that 35mm print, it's just what it's meant to be seen on. So try and catch it like that.
Nice.
All right. That's Leo DiCaprio, Brad Pitt, fucking.
That's it. You don't need nobody else.
No, fair enough. All right.
No, there's other people in it, but I mean, look,
those are the big ones.
Yeah, those are the big ones. And if you don't know anything about the Manson murders and Sharon Tate, at least do a little bit of research, because if you go into it cold, you're gonna come out of it hating the movie. But at least do a little bit of research, and then you'll thoroughly enjoy this movie. Yeah,
just need to get the references. All right, and then before we go, shout out Tracy Cortez, Cortez MMA on Instagram and I think Twitter too. She actually won the contract last night on Dana White's Contender Series. I've been watching her fight for a minute now, but her story is incredible. So if you don't know about her story, look it up. Actually, she talked about it last night a little bit. Mother passed away from cancer, brother passed away from cancer. She has a tattoo on her arm of her brother, and like the inspiration, like it's a great fucking story. So look up Tracy Cortez on online. Read up her story. She just got signed, and the word is that she's trying to get that she's trying to get a fight in Mexico City ASAP. That's pretty goddamn soon. So let's hope for the best. And then I know we talked about this before the show, but we didn't. Rumors of McGregor, Aldo too. I don't care. I don't see why.
Yeah, I gotta go, but I hope that's not true. Right. I'm cool on that one at this point.
Right. All right, folks. This is gonna do it for us tonight. Appreciate you guys. You follow Kirby at Kirby_MMA. Jesse's at Spawat 1983. I'm at Elo31. The show is at Keyboard MMA. Shout out to representripthewarriors.com. Plenty of new drops. I've already lost track of all the stuff they've been dropping, so go there ASAP. And spicepros.com. Yeah, we're gonna do it. Oh, for those of you who were wondering, I did get my fucking fanny pack, and I did embarrass the hell out of my youngest already. So I can't wait to wear it out in public because I'm that guy. All right, folks. Shout out to all you guys. We love you guys. Good night. And good night, Wilshire.